to go when you are.
I'm going to take one sip and then I'll be ready. Never mind, it's hot. I'm ready.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Open Table Adventures. As always, I am Dan the Baker, and I am here today with a fun two-player RPG for you, brand new, hot off the presses. But before we get into that, I would love to introduce my co-player, Sin.
Hello, howdy, hi, I'm Sin. I use they, them pronouns, and you can sometimes find me on the internet as sensationally.me when I remember to use social media, but I like to do fun little cosplays and TTRPG stuff.
Hell yeah. Sin has been on the channel a handful of times already, so you should probably recognize them. You should also recognize them just from being amazing on the internet. Today we are going to be playing the game Hunter Hunted, or Huntered. I am not sure how to pronounce it. It is a two-player RPG from the minds of Meghann and Dillin Apelyan. One player takes on the role of the hunter, the pursuer, while the other takes on the role of the monster, the pursued. The game is played with a standard deck of playing cards and 2d6 to determine who comes out of the hunt on top. The Kickstarter is going on from now until August 15th, which luckily it is already funded. Funded in 4 days because everyone is so amazing. But there's still so many cool stretch goals, so go ahead and back them already while you have the chance.
As someone who has, you definitely should.
Yeah.
This is me peer pressuring the internet.
Yes. Peer pressuring is actually good. So, Sin, do you want to go an overview of how we set things up?
Yeah, so honestly the setup is super easy. You need a standard set of playing cards. Just any set. I believe it's red for the monster, black for the hunter.
Yeah.
And you need 2d6 per player, which just looks like the standard set of dice. You need a piece of paper, and you need a small token, little meep, or any kind of board game little guy that you can put on a board. And I am visualizing circles. There's 5 little circles. Your token would start in the middle, and as the game progresses, it moves either towards the hunter or towards the monster.
Mm-hmm. Since this is digital, we'll just say to the left will be you, to the right will be me.
Yes.
Cool. So for the character creation, there's a couple of questions that we have to answer. We talked a little bit about this off camera already, but there's some questions that'll still go unanswered. We'll start with the stage setting, the actual setting of the game. So we're just gonna start off just by talking about the setting. There's a couple questions we have to answer collaboratively. To start off, where does the hunt take place? We talked about it being off camera. We talked about it being kind of 1950s Cold War-esque. Did you have any ideas of the actual setting, where it should be?
Yeah, I didn't think about a specific town or anything, but I was thinking a smaller town kind of on the outskirts of a civilization during the Cold War, kind of just struggling to get resources. Everyone's kind of feeling a little dreary, kind of close-ish to nature.
Yeah, I think it being right up against a forest or something like that would be great. Just when you think of a hunt, I think that's just where my mind automatically goes to. A town on the outskirts of a forest. What time period? We already said 1950s, Cold War era. Will we open the game at the beginning of the hunt, or will we pick up in the midst of an ongoing hunt?
I think it's a little juicier to be in the middle. I think having it kind of in the midst of this has been happening.
Yeah, in media res, in the middle of the action. I think kind of the hunter has been tracking the monster for a little bit, and this is maybe the first big face-to-face encounter. What are your emotional states at the start of the hunt?
Ooh.
I feel
I think... Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay. I feel like my hunter... we already kind of discussed I would be the hunter, Sin's going to be the monster. My hunter is like some sort of government agent, so I feel like they're really under pressure to like deliver, like, because this is like the Cold War, like the government's breathing down their neck to like be a good soldier kind of thing. So I think they're like stressed.
Ooh, yeah, I can only imagine, especially hunting a monster. Stress. I think at first I probably wasn't aware there was someone following me, but I think as the hunt progressed, there was a little bit of more anxiety built into interactions of hunting. Like I'm hungry, I need to do this.
Yeah.
But also something is following me, and I don't know if it's following and eating my scraps. I don't know if it is preying on me or trying to interrupt my feeding. And I think there's a little bit of like animalistic, primal kind of anxiety of like, I'm trying to survive here.
Yeah, that kind of like your arms the hairs on your arms stand up, like, you're prepared for something to be right behind you. Totally. Okay, last question about the setting, or the stage setting is, what about us both is not what it seems? I think for my hunter, he really, like, his only skin in the game is his loyalty to his country. Like, I don't think he necessarily has like any ill will towards any sort of monster or anything like that. I think it's truly just, this is my task that my country has put before me, so I must complete it.
I think I'm very similar, in the sense that like there's no maliciousness in this I'm a monster. I think it is much more of the circumstances I am in. I am the monster to these people. I am the monster to whatever creatures are inhabiting the same area I like share.
So next we have some questions about our characters that we have to answer. Why don't you ask me the hunter questions and I'll ask you the monster questions.
Ooh, okay. So, you're a mighty hunter. Who are you, and what do you look like?
So like I said, I'm some sort of government agent for some like secret monster hunting government agency. I want to say his name is like Charlie, and that's he never says his last name. It's always just Charlie, because it's secret. What does he look like? I think it's a standard, like, all-American boy, square jaw, short cropped hair, in, like, military green at all times. Just like you imagine, like, 1950s military man, and that's Charlie.
I love this.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's a part of a government agency hunting monsters to try and like use them as like weapons, basically, because it's like the Cold War and it's all about figuring out how to defeat our enemies. Sin, you are a monster. Who or what are you, and what do you look like?
I'll start with what I look like. I am a very scrangly looking, like, almost humanoid, standing at around like 15 feet tall, kind of like grayish toned skin, and a weird dark red dripping liquid always kind of falling from my head down my arms, like leaving little paths of like what look like dried crusty blood. I imagine that I don't look like I would move very fast, looking so scrungly and so tall and lanky. but I move quite quickly. And I am this creature that feeds on a lot of sorrow at death. I think the villagers have like lovingly, terrifyingly nicknamed me like Mao Da, which is like red blood in Vietnamese. I think that's just what they've associated with me, and that's kind of what I am to them.
Cool.
So you've touched on it a little bit before, but you know, there's a reason you've come to hunt here. What's driving you to really like pursue your quarry? And you know, were you hired or were you charged by a specific someone?
I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm working for a secret government agency that's like hunting monsters. I'm thinking I just watched season 4 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which has the Initiative, which is like a secret government organization that studies monsters. So I think that's where all of this is coming from. So yeah, that's like his charge is to track down monsters that might have useful abilities that we can like replicate as weapons. And there was another part of it. I guess that's kind of answers both. Because that's, you know, I think what specifically brought me here, I think is maybe there were like rumors of a creature that is able to like, we could get information from even like dead soldiers, you know, like we could like get things from dead people, because like that's kind of like what you said, you know, something you get energy from like the dead and whatnot. You have made this place your home. What brought you to this place, and why did you choose to stay?
Ooh, well, I think kind of playing on our like pre-Cold War and like kind of era of like this build-up, I think being a monster that is very attracted to sorrow and death, I think I was roaming for food and there was a strong sense of sorrow from this area. And I think what's kept me is that it's a consistent and easy way to eat, truthfully. Especially because, you know, in smaller towns, everyone's so interconnected. I think through eating sorrow, I also learn about their lives and about people around them. And so it makes it easier for me to hunt if they already know each other, to keep picking off one by one.
Yeah, for sure. You just got like comfortable here because you were like, you know, it's kind of like when
just settling in.
Yeah. It's like when you get your favorite restaurant in your neighborhood and you're like, oh, I never want to leave because it's, you know, they always make things. Yeah. Like, yeah, that is your question. Yeah.
I'm in my settle down era.
Yeah.
And like, kind of, I guess like with my powers and stuff, and you know, working for an agency where you're hunting monsters to get weapons and use their abilities. I'm sure you have like a signature weapon. Do you know what it is? And what about it makes it like more than what it seems is just a weapon?
I think it's not necessarily a weapon. It's not necessarily a weapon. I think it's more of a trap. Like it's something that can capture supernatural beings. Like something that's like designed to maybe like it helps me track and also can like hold these like otherworldly supernatural energies. And I think like what about it is more than it seems. I think it looks like just kind of a normal like a normal box, basically like a it's probably like a metal looking cube that from the outside, you know, seems you know, pretty standard. Like it has some little like dials and readouts on it, but it can be used to like actually capture and maybe like there's some like almost like a taser element to it where it can because we're not trying to kill the monsters, you know, we're trying to capture them so we can study them. So I think it's a stun and capture weapon.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. You've been in this area. You kind of talked about like you've heard what the villagers call you, and you've heard stories told about you. What do people say about you, and how much of these stories are true?
Ooh. well, I think some of the early onset stories were like, oh, they're kidnapping bad children or bad people, or they're kidnapping people at this time of night. And I think part of it is, oh, when people started noticing the patterns of like, oh, this monster ate one person and the next person they ate was related, there started being these rumors of, oh, well, they're like mixing with the ghosts of these people and they're hunting their loved ones, or they're hunting people they have regrets about. Yeah, so I think, I'm not generally picking good or bad people. I'm not really in the society. I don't have a perception of what is good or bad to these people. But I think the true part is that their loved ones are interconnected in how I eat them. Not as a purposeful thing, but more so in a, because I'm eating one person, I'm learning so much about their best friend and their habits. I now know their routines, so it's easier for me to hunt the next person connected. And I think like that's the part that's true, that's kind of fueling this whole it's a curse following one person's life. And I think it's interesting that, like, we're talking about the stories that like I know about me, but I'm sure that being here, hunting me, investigating, you've heard stories of the monster you're hunting. So like, what do you know about me, and have you heard anything that you like believe? Do you believe everything?
I think I have heard, I think I've heard those same stories, like just from the locals. Like I've heard the stories of, this creature hunts like in a web. Like this creature is able to like make connections between people. And that's like what's really interesting to like from the government agency, standpoint of like, oh, if I can find this like dead government person, like this dead like enemy government person, I can find who they're connected to through using this creature's abilities. And I think at this, like, I think I've been working for this agency for so long that my ability to believe things is so like expanded. Like I'm kind of like, it's more so, it's like it's everything is true until proven false at this point. Because you've got to track down as many leads as possible, because eventually you'll find Bigfoot.
Yeah. I like that philosophy.
We haven't found Bigfoot yet, but one day. So yeah, and I think since you've been in this area for so long, you've been around these people and they've like made these stories about you. You've been hunted before. How did you survive, and why are you hunted?
Ooh. I don't think I was hunted particularly at this town. I think any hunting that's happened here has been like a very casual, like, oh, like let's peep out our windows past midnight. But I think I've been hunted from place to place. And so far, this is the longest place I haven't been hunted at. Because the reality is like I tend to hunt more at isolated times. Just being a 15-foot tall kind of gangly creature, it's hard to hide in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And I think survival more so became a stamina thing. I think I very much outran people, and oftentimes in a chase, it's hard for a whole group to keep up with each other, and it often leaves like the stragglers to keep following the thing they're hunting. And I think that's really how I survived, was when it became like 2 or 3 people, it was very easy for me to fight them off and just eat them and gain stamina that way to keep running to the next place.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's all of our questions. So now we can start the hunt. Oh, how the game is actually played, if I don't drop my dice, how the game is actually played, is we have our 2d6. We are each going to be rolling our 2d6, trying to get the same number. As in, on our 2d6s, we want 2 6s, 2 5s, whatever. Because whenever that happens, that means we advance. While we're rolling, we're going to be talking about how we are chasing one another, setting the scene and stuff. And then as soon as someone gets that matching number, they will draw from their deck And each
Which
card...
gives us prompts.
Yes. Each card has a prompt for something, for you to answer, and you describe how you gained the advantage in this scene.
And this part plays like a race as well, where it's kind of like you're rolling as fast until you can get your doubles.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think the hunt starts at night. Obviously, since I know that you are a nocturnal creature. So I think I'm in the village with a flashlight with my little tracker, trying to find you.
Yeah.
And I think I may have
4s. Oh, did you also get tie?
No.
Okay.
I got a 1 and a 6, the exact opposite of.
I was like, oh god, what happens when we both get doubles?
There is rules for ties. We can talk about that if we get to a tie.
Okay.
So I'm gonna move the tracker.
Draw, right?
Yeah, move the tracker towards Sin's side.
Oh, darn.
And I'm gonna use movie magic to edit a tracker, and we'll track where it goes.
So I drew the 7 of diamonds. What makes you think you could possibly reason with the hunter? I think I'm seeing this flashlight kind of go through the trees, very kind of not haphazardly, but more strategic than the villagers that have investigated. And I do think that I see that you don't really fit in with the attire of the village. My heart is racing. I am panicked because I wasn't planning on hunting tonight, for prey. And I think not fitting in, maybe if I offer to not eat you or leave you alone, you'll leave me alone. And I think that's the thought process going through my head.
Yeah. Cool. Keep on dropping my dice. Hold on. Yeah. Cool. And then, yeah, so are you just in the forest, skulking amongst the trees?
Yeah, I'm kind of on my hands and knees, just trying to use my gangly limbs to blend in with tree trunks.
Smart.
And lying there, heart's throbbing really fast, but trying to think of any kind of way to talk to you about it if you were to find me. I don't think I would go and approach you right away.
Cool. So yeah, next scene then.
Oh gosh.
So I think I probably, do you think I would find some of the dried blood looking stuff?
Oh yeah, I think unless you look at it directly, I think they would look like puddles in the dark. Oh dang.
Got 2 6s. So you go on, describe what it would look like while I find the card.
I think just in the shadows of the night, they look like kind of deeper, dark puddles in between trees. I think unless you got right to where my hands were in the dirt, there wouldn't be too much piled, but I think you would definitely, if you were looking very carefully at the ground, see little trails leading towards me.
I think at first I see these puddles, and at first it looks like they don't lead to anything, and I consider moving on. Because I drew the 5 of spades, which is when you consider abandoning your hunt, whose words echo in your mind, what do they say? So I think there's a moment where I'm oh, I should move on. This isn't leading anywhere. But in my mind, I hear he's my boss, but also my mentor. He's the person who I think I was in the army, and this person recruited me into the secret government agency and has kind of molded me into who I am. I think his words echo that basically don't give up until every last resource has been exhausted and every stone is turned. So I think that pushes me to follow this blood trail. And I think I'm super close to you now. And do you think, would I see you?
I think if you were right up close, yeah, you would see me.
Yeah, so I think this is the moment where it's we kind of are face to face. And yeah. How do you react when I first come face to face?
I think I'm frozen, hoping that you don't react. because I think I prey on a lot of shock that kind of comes to like a lot of mortals that come into my pathway.
Yeah. I think
also I never realized how hard it was to get doubles.
It's so hard. I think I just got doubles.
Oh.
I got 2 5s. I think there is a moment of shock on my face. And actually that's perfect for what I just drew. Is I managed to surprise the monster and launch a sneak attack on them. How? And I think it's in that moment where I see you hesitate, and I'm like, I have a moment of shock of like, oh fuck, like this is the thing I'm after, and I immediately go for that like taser function, and I give you just like, you get like a little shock.
I think when you do that, you hear like the most like ear piercing, like just shriek. Mm-hmm. That kind of feels like there's like hard winds blowing through a trunk, just like. I don't know if my mic picked that up. It's fun. My mic suppresses weird noises I make. So I think you hear like just heavy winds, like kind of like crushing through like wood.
Yeah.
Is the sound that you hear out of my mouth.
I think it's like the whole thing, like the birds kind of start flying away from the treetops that are near us. Yeah, and I think that, do you try to run away?
I think I do like that thing where you like backpedal as fast as you can through the woods. Mm-hmm. Just trying to move out of the way.
Yeah.
Ooh, 3s.
Ooh, nice. So yeah, you're backpedaling away, and I'm right on. I'm like, you move so fast, and like it's hard for me to navigate the forest because there's like roots and stuff everywhere.
Okay, so I drew the Ace of Hearts. So what about this hunter is different from those who have hunted you before? And I think this is definitely my first time probably coming up against a professional. I think every other time I've been chased out, it was because I was being chased out by the whole village. Whereas I think you taking advantage of that moment where you are, you know, catching my shock to hunt me is like this very precise, professional, like, this is what I'm doing in this moment. And I think that's what helps me like speed away fast, is I'm like, oh, this is like a very serious thing that's happening. And that's why I start like backing away.
For sure, yeah.
And I think as I'm doing that, you do hear like little like, sorry, like just as like I'm backing away.
Mm-hmm. Which I think that definitely throws him off a little bit, of like, oh, this is a sentient creature who is speaking to me, like this isn't like a mindless thing, but I'm still like, I'm chasing after you as fast as I can. I think, how are you like avoiding me?
Like avoiding you? I think part of it is like, because I've been here a while, I think I know the landscape quite well, and so I'm like kind of moving my body in tune with where I remember trees to be.
Yeah.
And like avoiding roots and stuff, and because I am larger, I don't have to like be full contact. Ooh, yeah. Doubles?
Double twos, 2 2s. I did not shuffle these well because I just got another spade in a row, so I'm gonna give him a quick shuffle. Cool. Okay, Queen of Clubs. So yeah, you're like weaving in and out of the trees, and I think I'm like stumbling a lot because I can't see much, also because it's so dark. Let's see. Queen of Clubs. Who wanted to join you on your hunt? Do you regret making them stay behind? I think I think I'm like, when I'm like out in the field, I'm staying at like military encampments, that are just kind of like dotted throughout the world. Because this is post World War II, so America is kind of everywhere. And I'm like staying at this one nearby, and I've like made friends with some of the local, or not the local, but like the military people there. I think even maybe one of them was like an old army buddy who's like still in like the regular army, and we were like catching up. And he wanted to join, but like he doesn't know what I'm doing, so like I couldn't really have him. But I think that there's a part of me that does regret it, because we were such good friends and like we kind of did so many things together. Like maybe I'm somewhat in love with him. Who knows? And I think there's like,
maybe.
yeah, like while I'm like doing this, I'm thinking like, oh, Johnny would have had no trouble getting through all this. Like he grew up in the like near the woods, so like he's used to all this kind of stuff. So there's like that moment of regret. But I think that also then pushes me a bit more to keep going as I start like closing in on you.
Ooh, force.
Ooh, hell yeah. We just keep going
Wow,
back and forth.
I feel like we're not moving very far on this video.
Yeah.
On this board. Ooh, 6 of diamonds. So, in a moment of desperation, you discover an ability you didn't know you had.
Ooh.
What was it? I think, part of feeding on the energy of sorrow and despair, it starts kind of almost leaking out of me. And I think it leaks itself through the blood that my body leaks, and I think I start excreting more and more of it, hoping to make you slip. But I think what happens instead is it becomes more of a thick sludge, kind of as like the blood itself is pumped with these feelings of despair, kind of meant to pull people down and like stick to it almost.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Do you think it like makes me feel sad like when I come in contact with it?
I think if you were like prolonged in there, like if you took too long to get out of it, maybe, but I think right now it's more of like a sticky kind of like that, that feeling of when you're really excited to go do something, but you're just kind of sad and it holds you back. It's kind of like that sensation on your body as you're trying to move through it.
Yeah. It's more my body itself doesn't want to move forward from I get it. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So I love
this is like I've never been so excited to just like roll rocks and be like
well, it is so hard to be like I have to talk while also doing this and describe what's going on.
Oh. Ooh, ones.
Ooh, oh yeah. Ooh, you're getting closer.
Oh. I did not shuffle well either, so I will shuffle after this. The 9 of diamonds. I'd like to work on you with this one actually a little bit.
For sure.
So you see something in the hunter that they do not see in themselves. What is it? And I think being a creature around like sorrow and despair and death, I think there's something that deeply resonates with you about it, whether or not you're aware of it. But I don't think I would know what that is. I think that would be you.
I think it's loneliness. Like I've said, like he has like his mentor and he has his like friend, but I think he's so used to keeping all of these people at arm's length that like he has just this wall around him that keeps him very isolated and lonely. So I think you see that in him for sure.
Ooh. I think realizing that, I will whisper out like, I'll leave your friends alone. I won't touch your friends.
I think I'm so just like kind of stoic and like I'm like I don't know how to respond to this monster. Are you like this is you're like a distance away from me and this is kind of like yeah. And I think so I just whispered to myself just like just finish the mission, just keep going. So I just keep going and I get 2 3s.
Ooh. I'm going to be so honest, by the way. Mm-hmm. I don't know where we are on the board. I'm hoping you know where we are.
We're somewhere. We're
okay.
We're 1 to the left. We're 1 to your side.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. 7 of clubs. Or sorry, 7 of spades. You and the monster circle each other for what seems like hours, neither of you making the first move. What holds you back from attacking them? I think it is... I think it's almost that sorrow that you're exuding has like really like gotten a hold of me, and I'm like not able to really overcome that. And there's a part of me that is just like it almost feels like every step I take is 2 steps. Like it's like everything is feels so much heavier. So it just makes it so much harder for me to keep moving towards you.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I think I'm so driven by the mission. And I think that's also part of it is I'm just driven by this mission. I'm not really driven internally. Like there's nothing like no personal stakes for me in this. Like it is just my loyalty to my country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. I think that's such a hard place to be when like you're fighting an emotional monster.
Yeah.
Sorry, I struggle to roll these dice and talk for whatever reason. I'm like I just need to get... Ooh, 2s.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Ooh.
Do you think
5 of hearts?
Do you think you are trying to tire me out, or are you trying to escape from me? Like, are you gonna try and like attack me at some point, do you think?
I think if you make physical contact with me, yes. Otherwise, I don't think so. I think I try to only feed when I need to.
Yeah.
And I didn't plan on it, so it's kind of like I'm hoping that you'll get too tired of it or decide it's too much and leave. I think that's my initial goal.
Yeah.
So 5 of hearts. What if you notice that you share in common with the hunter? I think I also like being a creature that is constantly feeding on these like negative emotions. I think I share a deep kind of loneliness with you. And I think it resonates with me and I feel a connection, and whether it's because I'm able to sense it or because you're in my blood that's like pulled around you, I think it makes me feel something for you. I'm not quite sure. Like my heart is definitely still thumping, but it's very much like something is drawing me in. And I think I do edge closer just enough that my face is visible. Not food.
What's not food?
You not food.
That's good to know. What does your face look like, by the way? You didn't really describe that.
Oh yeah, I think it is.
Like I'm just imagining this poking out of a tree line.
Yeah, I'm trying to be like how. So, I don't know if you've ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Of course.
Where like Aang meets like the face stealer. I think similarly to that, but it's kind of like a constant blur of different facial features changing to different faces of like people I've eaten. I don't think it's like, oh, you have one person's eye. It's like 2 different eyes and nose. Like everything's constantly shifting.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. I think Charlie says this isn't personal. This is all business. I need to take you in.
I didn't hurt you.
I know that. This is, like I said, I'm just trying to do my job.
I like will slowly back away then, but not say anything in response.
Yeah. I got doubles.
Ooh.
Okay. King of clubs.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Oh, what am I most afraid of? That's just it. What am I most afraid of? Oh no. I think in this moment, his biggest fear is failure. His biggest fear is coming back empty-handed. Not like just because he doesn't. I think that's like he's just always been that person everyone can rely on. He's like, I think like maybe he like had a single mom and like he helped her growing up a lot. Like he was always like the man of the house. Like he's the oldest brother. He joined the military, and like, you know, people relied on him then. And so like in this moment of like I think that's just like he does not fail, you know, and like that's his fear is like this might be the time that he fails.
Oh yeah, I think what kind of gives you that advantage too then is I think when you start emanating that kind of fear and failure and that kind of despair associated with fear, I think regardless of the fact that I'm not hungry, that scent draws me back in.
Mm-hmm. I think
much to my dismay, just
yeah. And then I think I charge at you at that point. Like I'm giving into my animal instincts a little bit.
Ooh. Oh my god.
So yeah, I think as I charge at you, do you charge towards me or do you run away?
Oh, I back up. I think I realize that I'm not a heavy combat monster until it's feeding time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah, I'm just fully booking it, like leaping over. Oh, I got it.
I got 5s.
Oh, we tied.
Oh, did you get it too?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hold on, let me find the tie rules.
I think what I really like about this game is like there's really good opportunities for like back and forth.
Yeah.
Or it's like you could just have like a straight story and it's kind of like really just up to chance, and I think that's what makes this really fun.
Mm-hmm. Okay, if you both roll doubles at the same time, we each had an advantage. We each had a chance to grab the upper hand and fumbled, arriving at a momentary standstill. How did it happen, and what is the moment like for each of you?
Ooh.
I think we get to like a clearing, like an area where you can't hide in the trees as much, and that I think is I think that's my opening, but I underestimate just how fast you are.
Yeah, and maybe like this clearing is like a chance to get closer to the village, and I think maybe not knowing my capabilities, you're like, oh shoot, also if I keep moving fast, I might run towards this village of people.
Yeah, I might drive this monster towards like a bunch of innocent people. How do you fumble in this moment? That like, because I feel like you could escape it in this clearing, but
I think I too, on the other hand, think of how close I am to all these people, and I think, you know, all I can hear at this point is my heartbeat in whatever organs I use to hear.
Yeah.
And I think that's causing me to not think clearly, and instead I'm getting flashbacks of like past villages where I'm being chased out. And I start thinking about if I run that way, that's what's going to happen. If I run this way, this man is going to come for me. And I just kind of, in a moment of panic, I'm just like going back and forth and just like going fast, but just fast in place.
Yeah. Yeah, you have that like moment of hesitation for sure. Oh, 2 4s.
Oh, ooh.
So yeah, I think I see that moment of hesitation and start like moving towards you. I got the 4 of spades. Ooh, this is I find the monster's den. What do you find there that shocks you? Ooh. I think then probably like you realize that we're close to your den and you make a run for it there.
Ooh.
And so I find you in the den. I think what shocks me is there's a level of comfort in it. Like I think you have like soft things in here. Like it's like I feel like I'm imagining almost like a little burrow. Or I guess it has to be a rather large burrow because you're 15 feet tall.
I could be a ball.
Yeah, you curl up, roly-poly. And I think, yeah, you have like pillows and blankets in here. And but I feel like there's probably also like bones and shit. So like that I'm not as shocked about. But the fact that there's like, yeah.
Yeah, I think too, like, there's probably, like, trinkets from the people I've eaten. Just vibing around.
Yeah. Also, we're 1 to the right now, just so you know.
Okay, yeah, we've gone back and forth a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm. Do you think have I like cornered you in your den? Do you think, or is there like another way out?
I think I have, like, you have, like, I think this is where you kind of start seeing, like, you know those memes where people sweat really fast?
Yeah.
It's that, but it's like you see more blood just starting to pour.
Ooh.
As I, like, you start seeing me, like, kind of shake. Like, I'm not moving fast anywhere, but the body is moving fast in place.
Mm-hmm. I got doubles.
Oh, man.
So I got an 8 of clubs. So it's what rumor about the monster has been proven wrong during this hunt? I think the rumor that you are some sort of senseless killer. Like that you are just an animal. Because I've heard you speak and I've heard you try to reason. And I think that was like kind of like the villagers who have mostly tried to stay away from you, and those who have gotten close end up dead. Are like they think you're some senseless animal who just attacks and then finds your little web and you find and I think also that you find pleasure in the kill. Like this doesn't seem like you find pleasure in it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think I think I'm in this like burrow. You can't move as fast maybe because you have to be like maybe hunched down. So I think I'm starting to gain on you.
And I think part of it too is like as the blood sweats out, I think I'm also starting to get messed up by this blood. I think it being like a new ability, I'm not very proficient in it, so I'm just like, oh god. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think it's like
I love how. Sorry,
you go ahead.
No, mine was an off comment.
Oh, I was gonna say I think it's also like it's hard for me to get through here as well. But I did just roll doubles again, which does mean I win.
Ooh.
Because I got to fully my side. So let me just scroll down to the hunt must end section. So when the token moves all the way to one side, one of us has won. We've caught our adversary and now have the power to end the hunt and possibly your life. So now I basically take on role of the GM and describe what happens. And I think we have come to like a full dead end. And I have you backed into a corner. And I'm like approaching you with my little like trap thing, and I'm getting it ready to like, get you. Excuse me. So I have my little trap thing, and as I approach you, I say, "Now listen, this doesn't have to be hard. This doesn't have to get violent. We just want to study you. We want to know more about you. Okay?"
I think I understand the words, but I don't understand them. So I think you see like the head, like the shaking stops, but the head tilts.
And then I think back to like how you've talked earlier, and I look at you and I say, "Not food."
Not food.
Science.
Science.
Study. Knowledge. History.
Learn.
Yes, we want to learn from you.
Learn. Food?
Yes. Learn how you use the food. How you get from one food to the next.
Thoughts.
Thoughts?
Thoughts.
Okay. I'm just gonna... I think I'm like as close as possible now, and this won't hurt. I'm just going to... And I think there's a moment where we make like direct eye contact as I'm like right up next to you. What do I see in your eyes?
I think, even though the eyes are shifting, I think something that you realize is the longer I'm focused on you, the longer these eyes seem to have that human recognition that like human eyes get when it's like you realize something. And I think you kind of see it flickering in the different eyes.
Do I see fear or do I see acceptance?
I think you see like an acceptance, like a curiosity alongside it.
Okay. So then I think I see that and I just kind of nod and I entrap you. And
I just go into this little trap.
Yeah. And I lead you out of the village to an awaiting airplane that is taking me back to the States. And we see we see the
fly
sunrise.
in the plane with you?
Yeah.
Or am I hanging from it?
I think you're in the plane. I think like we see the plane taking off and head like as the sun rises, you know, in the horizon. As we came to a common ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, that was Hunter Hunted. That was so fun. I had so much time playing. I had such a good time playing with you, Sin. If you also want to play this game, make sure you back the Kickstarter. The links for it will be down below. You know where to look. Thank you, Dillin and Meghann, for sending me this early so I can test it out and show you guys. Sin, why don't you tell them where they can find you if you have anything upcoming that you want to check out?
Yeah. Again, my social media name is sensationally.me, C-I-N instead of S-E-N. I'm primarily Instagram, TikTok, sometimes Blue Sky and X if I remember. I am currently playing as a very cowardly, anxiety-riddled lion on the Chaos Brigade every other Tuesday. And I am in an upcoming show where I am going to be playing in a really cool political horror with Bad House RPG, which will be really fun in the fall.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much for being here, Sin. I'm so excited to see you at Gen Con.
Yes.
You can find me anywhere on the internet at Dan_the_Baker. You can always find me here at Open Table Adventures, where we'll have more one-shots and actual plays, interviews, recipes, and so much more. As always, I have been Dan the Baker. This has been Sin. This has been Open Table Adventures, and you are always welcome to pull up a seat. Bye-bye.